My boyfriend broke up with me for the dumbest reason after I supported him for years, but he forgot the house is in my name, and now he's living in his car. Let me preface this by saying, I'd been with Logan for 6 years. 6 years of what I believed was love, loyalty, and without a doubt, a ridiculous amount of patience. And when I say patience, I mean I've been the only one holding us together financially while he hopped from one passion project to another. There was the YouTube channel that never took off, even though he swore he'd become bigger than some trending sensation. Then came the NFT wave he claimed he was early on. Spoiler, he wasn't, and his brief crypto phase that swallowed most of his savings. Through all of it, I kept our lives stable. Mortgage? Me. Utilities? Me. Groceries? Still me. Car payments? Also me. Logan was the dreamer, and I was apparently the fool who kept having faith in those dreams. Every time he came up with some new plan, eyes shining with excitement, I swallowed my doubts and backed him. Each time he'd say, "This one will work." And like a total idiot, I trusted him. Things started getting strange about 2 weeks ago. Logan became distant, glued to his phone more than usual, and started talking about needing space to grow and discover himself. At first, I didn't think much of it. He tends to get all philosophical right before announcing a new game-changing idea, but then he began criticizing the house, which was new for him. He'd make snide remarks about dishes left in the sink or unfolded laundry, using this condescending tone I'd never heard before. Then last week, he sat me down at the kitchen table after I got home from work. He wore this serious expression I'd only seen a few times before, usually before revealing another failed plan. But what he said next made me wonder if I'd stepped into some twisted reality. "I think we should break up," he said. "You don't do enough around the house." I actually laughed. I thought he must be kidding. But when he didn't even smirk, something inside me broke. This man, who I'd basically been parenting for 6 years, was accusing me of not contributing. When I asked him to explain, because there was no way he meant that, he returned to it. "You never clean up after yourself, and I'm always the one doing the emotional work around here. I'm the one who has to point out what needs to get done. Let me explain something. I work insane hours just to keep us both afloat while he stays home, brainstorming his next breakthrough. Sure, sometimes I'm too exhausted to wash dishes immediately or fold laundry right away. Sometimes I leave a mug on the counter or forget my shoes by the door. But you know what I do? Pay every single bill that keeps a roof over our heads and food in the kitchen." Meanwhile, Logan's biggest household contribution has been arranging the bookshelf by genre. More than once, and throwing away my perfectly good Tupperware because it didn't spark joy. This is the same man who loses his mind if the Wi-Fi drops for 5 minutes. Guess who calls the internet company every single time? Me. Every birthday, holiday, or weekend outing? Organized by me. He won't even order takeout without asking me 3 times, and still messed up my order anyway. But here's where it gets truly ridiculous. After declaring our breakup, Logan began acting like the house already belonged to him. He smugly said this would be a fresh start for both of us, and suggested that I could move back in with my mother or something. He even talked about turning the guest room into his office once I was gone, and joked about getting a dog since no one would complain about the hair. That's when it hit me. He honestly seemed to forget, or maybe never even realized, whose name is on the house deed. Hint, it's not his. Not even close. The house came to me as an inheritance from my grandparents, and I'm the sole owner. Every mortgage payment, every repair, every utility bill, it's all in my name. I excused myself, went upstairs, and locked myself in the bedroom. I wasn't about to fight with him or try convincing him of anything. No, I decided I'd let him live in his fantasy for as long as he wanted. Let him think he's winning this breakup. Let him assume I'm the one packing my suitcases and moving out. Because here's what Logan doesn't realize, he's about to lose everything. And honestly, I can't wait to see the moment it clicks for him, realizing just how badly he messed up. So like I mentioned, my, now ex-boyfriend Logan broke up with me out of nowhere, claiming I didn't help enough around the house. Which was hilarious since I was literally paying for everything, mortgage, utilities, groceries, while he's working on himself for the last 3 years. Plus, I was the one cooking, cleaning, and tackling every chore that didn't involve his precious gaming rig. But here's the wild part. After the breakup, Logan actually behaved like he owned the house. Seriously. In maybe 5 seconds he convinced himself this place belonged to him. He didn't say it directly, but the way he strutted around said it all. He lounged on the couch like he was king of some empire he didn't build, left trash everywhere, and stayed up gaming until 4 a.m. like nothing changed. He even had the nerve to tell me I should start packing so I could leave properly. Meanwhile I was just sitting there stunned, watching how far his delusion would go. Spoiler, it went very far. About a week after the breakup, Logan told me he was inviting a friend over. He barely looked at me and muttered something about how I need to respect his space. Respect his space. In my house. I just nodded and thought, okay, let's see who this friend is. When the doorbell rang, I opened it and saw a woman standing there, smiling with a bottle of wine. Her name was Mila. And to be fair, she was sweet and polite. But it didn't take Sherlock Holmes to know this wasn't just a friend. The way she looked at Logan? Oh, they were definitely together. He didn't even introduce us properly. Just walked right past me like I was household staff and gave Mila a tour of the place. My place. And wow, did he make it sound like he owned everything? This is the living room. Might upgrade the couch to something modern. This is the kitchen. I love the open layout for hosting. This is my office. I nearly burst out laughing at that one. Work? The guy hasn't had a real job since 2018. That office is the spare room I set up so he could maybe do freelance work, but all he does in there is play Fortnite. Mila was eating it up though, clearly imagining herself living here and playing house. Meanwhile I'm standing there gripping my coffee mug so hard I thought it might crack. I had 2 choices, blow up and expose him, or stay calm and let him keep digging a deeper hole. I picked the second option. I honestly wanted to see how far he'd take it. All evening, Logan acted like he'd already moved on and was generously letting me stay while I figured things out. He even pulled me aside and said, I think we should plan a timeline for when you'll be moving out. No rush of course, but Mila and I need to start planning. Planning what? A housewarming party in my own living room? I just smiled and said, oh, don't worry about me. I've got it covered. You should have seen his face. So confident. He truly thought he'd won. The next morning, I made my move. While Logan was still asleep, I called a locksmith and had all the locks changed. The locksmith finished within an hour. I paid him, thanked him, and sat down with some tea to wait. When Logan finally woke up and strutted into the kitchen like he owned it, I said casually, oh by the way, I had the locks changed this morning. You'll need to grab your stuff and leave by the end of the day. Guys, the look on his face, pure panic. He went pale. What do you mean you changed the locks? You can't do that. Oh, I absolutely can. This is my house. It's in my name. You're not on the deed. You're not on the mortgage. And now you're not welcome here. He tried everything, arguing, begging, even emotional blackmail like, I thought you loved me, I thought we were building a life together. Around then, Mila showed up, probably thinking she was about to have another cute evening with her new man. Instead she walked in to see Logan shoving his stuff into boxes while I leaned against the wall reminding him not to forget his gaming chair. Mila looked totally shocked and kept asking, wait, this isn't your house? Logan didn't even respond. By the end of the day, Logan was gone. Mila was gone. I poured myself a glass of wine, sat on the couch he wanted to replace, and thought about how close I came to losing everything just because I was too giving with my time, money, and energy. Never again. And if you're wondering, Logan is now hopping from one friend's couch to another. I heard from a mutual friend that Mila broke up with him too when she realized he was broke, jobless, and basically homeless. Karma's something special, isn't it? I thought that was the end of it, but apparently Logan wasn't done humiliating himself. A few days after he left, I got a call from our mutual friend Caleb to check in. I could tell he was fishing for information, so I asked straight up, "Did Logan send you?" Caleb hesitated before admitting the truth. Turns out Logan had been planning this breakup for months. He'd been telling people, friends, acquaintances, even his family, that he was about to take over the house and start a whole new life. He made himself look like the poor boyfriend who had tolerated my nagging for years. According to him, this house was basically his because of all the effort he'd put into making it a home. I had to stop Caleb mid-sentence because I nearly burst out laughing. Effort? This is the same man who barely did his own laundry, let alone anything that actually maintained the property. I asked Caleb if Logan ever mentioned that tiny detail about the house being in my name. Caleb told me Logan said I'd probably just leave quietly when he asked. And if I didn't, he'd figure something out. Oh, Logan, sweet, clueless Logan. He was so sure I'd just hand over the house that he even went around celebrating before the breakup. He bragged to people that he was finally free to focus on his life and was even planning a housewarming party. Again, in my place. The nerve. Caleb told me something that actually made me angry. Logan had been minimizing everything I ever did for him. He told people I barely handled any bills and that he was the one keeping everything together. This from a guy who literally didn't even know how much the mortgage I paid was each month. The lies were so outrageous that I couldn't even be mad, I just laughed. I thanked Caleb and started plotting how I was going to end this in a way Logan would never forget. At first, I thought maybe I'd just let it go. He's already gone, the house is mine, I could move forward. But then I remembered all the emotional manipulation, freeloading, and now the smear campaign. I couldn't let him walk away rewriting the story. So I went for his weak spot, his ego. First, I sent a calm and factual group message to our mutual friends clearing everything up. I stated clearly, the house is 100% under my name. Logan never paid a single dollar toward the mortgage or bills. Any claims that we built this home together were lies. I kept it professional. No insults. Just facts. And to back it up, I included screenshots of old lease agreements, bills in my name, even a picture of the deed. I refused to let him twist the narrative. Second, I contacted a local charity that accepts furniture for families in need. I donated everything Logan left behind. His old desk, that unused couch, even the gaming chair he treated like a throne. They were thrilled to receive it. I was thrilled to see all his junk gone. Lastly, I reached out to his parents. They had always been kind to me, and they deserved the truth. I didn't go into every detail, but I told them enough for them to understand that Logan had been lying about what really happened. The group chat exploded within minutes. Most of our friends were shocked but fully supportive, saying they had no idea Logan had been spreading such garbage. A few tried defending him, saying he's going through a lot. I shut it down quickly. We all go through things. That doesn't give someone the right to lie and steal. Logan, of course, found out about the message and called me absolutely furious. He accused me of ruining his life and said I had no right to air our business. I calmly told him he'd been doing that for months. I just corrected the record. Then I blocked him. As for his parents, they were mortified. They apologized to me and said they had no idea he treated me that way. His mom even offered to pay me back for some bills, but I told her I didn't want money, I just wanted the truth out there. The best part came a few weeks later when I bumped into Mila at a coffee shop. She walked up, clearly embarrassed, and apologized for being involved. She said Logan had lied about everything, including saying the house was jointly owned. Then she told me the funniest thing, Logan was now living out of his car. Apparently none of his friends wanted him staying with them after discovering the truth, and his parents refused to bail him out again. he'd burned every bridge. I don't wish homelessness on anyone, but in this case? I can't say I feel too bad. He made his bed, or back seat. I thought Logan would finally stop, but of course not. He was still trying to get the house back. The drama wasn't over. Last week, I was having lunch with my sister, Nora, and she kept glancing at her phone and then at me with this anxious look. Finally, I asked what was going on. "Don't be mad," she began, which immediately meant I was going to be mad, but Logan called me last week. I nearly spit out my food. Turns out Logan has been going around telling anyone who'll listen that we had some kind of verbal agreement about the house. According to him, we were practically married. We weren't. And that he'd contributed significantly to the household. He hadn't. But get this, he asked my sister for money. Not a little money either, he wanted enough to get back on his feet and fight for what he claims is his house. And she gave it to him. Before you get angry, hold on, Nora and I are close, and she's usually extremely sharp. Logan gave her this big sob story about how he invested everything in our relationship and was now homeless because of me. He even showed her screenshots of bills he'd paid using my money. Nora admitted she felt bad and gave him $2,000. I was about to explode, until she showed me the messages. And that's when I realized. My sister is actually brilliant. She didn't just hand him the cash. She had him sign a real IOU, with interest, and even put his car up as collateral. When I asked why she bothered, she smiled and said, "Because I knew he was full of crap. And now I have proof in writing if we ever need it." I wanted to hug her. But it gets even better. Caleb, our mutual friend, sent me screenshots of Logan's random social media rants. Logan was now claiming I trapped him into a relationship to steal his future fortune. He said I drained him emotionally and financially, wild considering I literally funded his life. According to Logan, he was the one emotionally supporting me through my unstable phases. This is the same man who once had a meltdown because I bought a different brand of energy drink. Zoe, another friend, has been keeping track of all the versions of Logan's story circulating. Apparently he tells different lies to different people. To some, I'm a manipulative gold digger. To others, we had a business partnership I betrayed. He even told someone I promised him I'd add his name to the deed as a birthday gift. Pretty creative from someone who once forgot my birthday entirely because he was too busy trying to become a Twitch streamer. Yesterday, I received a series of unhinged messages from him saying he's going to expose me to everyone. He threatened to reveal all my secrets, although I honestly don't know what secrets he even thinks he has. Meanwhile, I've got all his texts, failures, and receipts saved. I haven't replied. But I've documented everything because I have a feeling he'll try something stupid again. Logan has never been good at accepting reality. Now that he's probably burned through the money Nora gave him, likely on another absurd scheme, I bet he's working on a new plan to get something out of me. So last Sunday, I was doing groceries when I literally bumped into Logan's mom at the store. I tried to smile politely and move on, but she gently grabbed my cart and said, "We need to talk." Now, his mom has always been very kind to me, even after everything, so I stopped to listen.